So let's talk about those Twins, shall we? Quick weekend recap. Twins lose game 1 to the Rockies, but bounce back. They win games 2 and 3, take the series 6-0, 6-3 victories. Reggie, couple good pitching outings again this weekend. Twins only allowed 1 run on Friday, and that was in their only loss, believe it or not. Dylan Bundy, 6 strong innings, allowed just 1 run. Relievers combined 3 scoreless innings after that. Chris Archer, Saturday, came out once again. Pitched 5 solid, great innings.
Yep.
And yesterday, shaky start from Joe Ryan compared to what we're used to, but bullpen comes in again, combines for 4 scoreless innings. Byron Buxton's hot again, back-to-back games with a triple. And oh yeah, meanwhile, first-place Cleveland Guardians got swept in Boston.
Sheesh.
They head into the 5-game series with the Twins on a 4-game losing streak. Reggie, Twins got their lead back in the Central, up to 2 games now. Feel like they're heating up right at the perfect time, traveling to a critical 5-game stretch with the Guardians.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you wonder how they were going to bounce back after that series against the Guardians where they just had some gut-wrenching losses, and you're just like, come on, man. And you're like, man, here goes the slide, because it's like, well, the Guardians are heating up and the Twins are cooling off, and this is how we see things happen. And what I think, this weekend really kind of showed us is, if it continues to be like it is, I think things are going to continue to be neck and neck between them. I do think that the Twins in this pivotal series against the Guardians, they need to go out and get it done. At least win 3. It'd be great to win 4 or 5, but at least win 3, just for morale, just for confidence. And, Rocco Baldelli said last week, he's not looking at the standings. Everybody else is. But he said he's not looking at the standings right now because it's still so early. It's only June, and they're playing for a bigger thing. But now, with some of these series being pivotal, and now they hold this 2-game lead over the Guardians in the Central, you're just like, all right, okay, let's step on the throttle a little bit. See if we could kind of distance ourselves from some of these other teams and take advantage, especially, if they hit a lull or they hit a stretch where they're losing 3, 4, 5 games or something like that this summer. It'd be nice for them to have built this cushion coming into that so that they can go ahead and do what they need to do and still be in contention come the fall.
Well said. All right, call me Stat Boy. A couple stats for you. You've been gone a while. Let me get you caught up. Sit back. Here we go. First one, Aaron Gleeman, the Geek, on Twitter. Since his 0 for 30 slump, Byron Buxton's now hitting .298 in his last 23 games. Pair of triples, couple home runs, .385 on base percentage, .690 slugging. Buxton went 3 for 3 yesterday with a walk. Knock on wood, I think it's safe to say Byron Buxton may be back. Here's another one from the Geek. After pitching just 19 innings his last 2 seasons combined and not posting an ERA under 4 since 2015, Chris Archer has a 3.14 ERA through his 14 starts with the Twins this season. Don't call it a comeback, but man, oh man, that's been a lot of fun to watch. Archer get back to his prime and peak level, probably a handful of years ago when he was at his best. Last one from our boy Nash Walker. Twins just won their 40th game on June 25th. They've now actually won 41. Last season, when did they win their 40th game? July 19th. So obviously, far outpacing last season's team by a mile. What's the most impressive stat here? Buxton's latest surge, Chris Archer going from 0 to hero, or the Twins' just overall record compared to last season's pace?
I think it's the overall record. And I don't think it's close because, you look at how the bottom fell out last season and you're just like, dang, man, that just wasn't what you were expecting from this team. They kind of had a little bit of a fire sale, at the trade deadline as well. And you're just like, dang, well, there goes that season. And then they come out this year and they struggle a little bit over the first few weeks. And you're just like, dang, man, are they going to do this again? Is it going to be another lost season with all this, expectation from this group to really compete and try to make a playoff spot happen? And then they go on this roll, and now you're talking about this first place Twins team that really has all the pieces to stay in first place. But you find encouragement from, you got win number 40 in July. You're a month ahead of that. And that seems to believe in, and we've said this on this show several times, it seems to really point in the direction that this Twins team is actually good.
They may just be good, Reggie. Are we overthinking it?
It might be. Good. You look at the bullpen and you're like, oh man, that's an experience, every week. Mm-hmm. And then you look at sometimes how inconsistent the bats are, and you're just like, but then you see weekends like what we just saw, and you're like, maybe they're actually just good. The teams that you were just like, all right, here's the real measuring test. You play the Blue Jays, you play the Mariners, you play the Yankees. They competed well against those teams. And you're just like, well, maybe they're actually just good.
Here's the thing. If we would have thrown some money, let's just say at the beginning of the year.
You always will throw some money, man.
We'd be feeling good. Hey, don't make the same mistake Reggie and I did. Bet online. Bet online, number one source for all your betting needs. Get all the latest stats, news, and info on Bet Online. Check out betonline.com today. That's betonline.com. All right, weekly tradition on this show. You know what's coming. ESPN's latest power rankings released a few days ago. And the top looks the same. Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Astros. Twins, meanwhile, dropped from 11 to 12. No big deal. Guardians jumped 15 to 14. Closed the gap a little bit. White Sox, 17 to 16. Now, this was all before the weekend series, so keep that in mind. But the article did note the Twins had been slumping heading into the weekend thanks to, what else? Plethora of injuries. And the pitching staff starting to show their true colors, they said. Maybe could be a sign for things to come. Thoughts on the latest power rankings, specifically then noting the Twins pitching regressing back to the mean as they far exceeded everyone's wildest expectations, the first 2.5 months of the season.
That's fair. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, that they have them behind teams like the Giants, the Cardinals, the Blue Jays, which they competed well against. I think it's so interesting. Like the Twins have a better record than some of these teams that are higher than them.
Right.
But, we're not the ones making these rankings. And I think, the pitching does kind of scare you a little bit. Just looking at it, you saw a good outing from Archer. Bundy's been performing better as well.
Solid.
In his last few starts. And you're just like, okay, all right, maybe he shook the kinks out. And, the guy's a veteran, so he knows how to pitch. And now, you don't expect – I think Joe Ryan is still just kind of trying to work his way back into some rhythm here. He had a really long layoff, and COVID is nothing to play with. And he's probably just trying to get back into a rhythm and really try to find it again. And I don't blame him. Maybe if we see it for 3-4 more starts where he kind of struggles a little bit, then maybe you get a little bit concerned. But I'm not all that concerned just yet. I think, we just kind of see how it plays out and react accordingly. But the bullpen, man, it all comes down to the bullpen. I think this team would probably be a little bit higher on these power rankings if the bullpen was better. And I say that because if the bullpen was better, their record would be better. I see maybe like 4 or 5 more wins at least if the bullpen is better, because they put themselves in position to win a lot of games that the bullpen in turn blew. And look, 12 was fair. They could have, given it to them a little bit worse than that, depending on, how bad this bullpen has looked at times. But they were like, we'll be fair with them. It's so interesting too. The White Sox are kind of like flailing a little bit. They're only 4 spots back.
Right.
Goodness gracious. Like they still, the national people still believe in the White Sox abilities to bounce back and challenge for the division crown. And so maybe they know something we don't.
You usually get what you pay for. Twins payroll, $140 million. Highest one in the reliever department, the closer department, Tyler Duffy making just $3.6 million. So kind of get what you pay for. All in all, knowing that, actually, I think they're actually, especially after this weekend, going shutout innings game after game. Yeah, inconsistent for sure. Probably the weakest spot on the team, no doubt.
Yeah.
But knowing how little they've actually invested into that department, thank goodness for a guy like Johan Duran developing and progressing the way he has, because they just really simply haven't put in a lot of assets or investments or just money into that position. Twins got a chance, prove their worth, jump up a couple spots in the rankings, and do some major damage. Huge series on deck. In fact, you could argue biggest series of the season to this point. 5-game bundle, Royal Rumble with the Guardians, including doubleheader Tuesday. Tonight at Sonny Gray and the Mound, first pitch, 6:10 p.m. Bad news is Twins have their next 11 of 14 games on the road starting tonight in Cleveland. Good news is Guardians lost 4 in a row. They're on a little streak here. They're on a little slide. So maybe the Twins are catching them right now at the right time. Rest assured, Reggie and I will be back here to break it all down.